Say hello, everybody. You're not gonna say hello, everybody?
That's kind of.
You're not gonna say hi, everybody?
Hi.
Say, these are the retics.
This is Retics.
Which retic is your favorite?
Blue Retic.
No, which? Do you like Jasmine or Hercules or Ivy or Queen or Calypso? Which one is your favorite? Or Nintendo?
Blue.
We don't have a blue one.
Calypso.
Calypso is your favorite?
Yes.
Why?
Because it is the best.
She's the best.
Yeah.
Why is she the best?
Because it is beautiful.
Because she's beautiful?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look a flower.
Where's the flower?
It is on my side.
Okay.
Right there.
Wow, what a beautiful flower. Hi everyone, I'm back and I'm going to do my Super Dwarf Reticulated Python age and size update.
Hi! 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 Hi!
Welcome to our channel.
Hello.
If you enjoy learning about reptiles and having a good laugh, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button.
Hit.
Smash it.
Nice.
Smash it.
Nice.
Smash it right now. And don't forget to hit that notification bell.
Hit. Mas. Mas.
Smash it.
Mas.
Okay.
Mas.
So first up we have Hercules over here. He is born in 2016 and he is a 75% Super Dwarf. He is a purple albino and he was produced by Chuck Royale at Serpent Exotics. I went into more detail in one of my earlier Super Dwarf videos, which you can check out right over here, hopefully, I think. Okay, well, let's take a better look at him. He's the one that had a little bit of problems with abscess, or like he had a messed up tooth, but he's healing nice and doing well. That's Hercules. This is Ivy. Ivy is a 2015 75% Super Dwarf Reticulated Python, and she is het either purple or white albino, so we're going to find out by breeding her to Hercules. I don't know how the light's doing. Is the light adjusting? Hopefully you can see her well. She was also produced by Chuck Royale, but just a year older than Hercules, 75% also. She's quite a bit bigger. I have not tried to push these animals at all. I feed them every 2 to 3 weeks, and contrary to what I hear from some people, I actually find that when I feed them less, they are less aggressive and less ready to come out than when I feed them more. I find that if I feed them every week, they get more excited and they want to they want to get at food every time the cage opens. But for the most part, I actually feed them every 2-3 weeks, mostly every 3 weeks. And then when it comes time for breeding, I feed the females every week. But I still have not successfully had a clutch, so hopefully next year it'll happen, or Jasmine might be pregnant, I'm not totally sure. I'll show you her, I guess I'll show you her next. But this is Ivy. I figured a few of them shed, so they're looking good. Ivy didn't shed, but she still looks pretty good. What do you think? So, I keep hearing people say that like these things are smaller than boas or is the size of a ball python, and lots of them are not. This is longer than most of my boas will ever get, and definitely longer than a ball python. And I tell you, not everyone's working with Karampas. But still a wonderful animal, still quite manageable if you know what you're doing. I haven't ever taken a bite from her, so that's nice. But she's a wonderful snake. She is great. I love her very much, and she's super calm. But these definitely do have a worse bite than boas do, and as they get bigger, it can be a handful. At this is probably the perfect size where they feel just great and wonderful. I said I'd get Jasmine, so let's go get Jasmine. See you later, Ivy. I'm back here now with Jasmine. Jasmine is a 78.75 or 85 something Super Dwarf. She's a fire tiger, het purple albino, born in 2017. She's another one from Chuck Royale. And of all my Super Dwarfs, I love her personality. She's so sweet, she's so gentle, and I always do still kind of tap her. I basically all the retics, anytime you have a retic, they should be kind of hook trained, but I feel like with her I could go and grab her with my hands and she'd never really bite me. But there was one time that she did kind of strike, and it was food related, so you're just better off not sticking your hands in first thing. I like to think of them like, it's funny because I describe them as smarter, but just more excited, like, because I open up my boa's home, they just, oh, okay, you're here, you're gonna take me out, I don't care. But when it comes to Super Dwarf Retics, you open up their home and they're like, hey, you got food for me? Where is it? Give it to me now. And they just get so excited and they jump out wanting to be fed. But that's Jasmine for you. So 2017. I don't know if she has eggs. She is looking kind of thick. She went through a period where she ate a ton of food. She looks kind of lumpy. She might have eggs in there. I'm not sure. So if you think that doesn't look lumpy enough, or if you think she's pregnant, does that look like she's pregnant? Let me know in the comments below. Wonderful. If all Super Dwarfs behaved the way that Jasmine does, then I'd be a lot more happy to recommend them to people. But at the same time, I think that we do have to be realistic. Or I'm just telling you what I experienced, right? Some people might have Super Dwarf Retics that behave the way my boas do, because lots of people see my boas and they're shocked. They're like, every time I see boas, they're nippy, or they're not as calm as yours, and people are really shocked by how calm my boas are. So maybe Garrett Hartle has Super Dwarfs that behave like ball pythons, who knows. But Garrett is a wonderful guy to watch. If you haven't heard Reach Out Reptiles, Garrett is an excellent person to watch and learn more about these, and he has a whole ton of them, so not many people know as much as he does. But another thing you can look for when you see retics in videos and stuff, look at their noses, look at the top of their nose. Is there a lump? Are they rubbing everywhere? Because it can be really hard to have them not rubbing, and most of mine are not rubbing. But sometimes something will happen where, like, one will just go into shed, they're trying to take their shed off and they just go overly rub until they have a nice little bump on their nose, or they open up their skin on their head, and it can be something just as simple as that. But they are a lot more finicky, at least for me. All I can do is speak of my own experience. I don't really like to just say this is like this and that is like that, because I think there's too many people doing that. There's too much rules. So like, we have to keep them at this temperature and that temperature, you know. It's more of, some of them want to be kept at 88 degrees, some of them want to be kept at 91 degrees. I'm talking about hot spots, you know. And when it comes down to if they're shedding or not, are they shedding in one piece, or Or are they shedding in a pile of pieces? If they're shedding in one piece, then you're doing a good job. That means the humidity is right. If they're not shedding in one piece, you need to bump up the humidity. I'm really kind of almost anti-rules. Like, it's good, I think of it as guidelines. You should have guidelines and work with those guidelines and find what works for you and your animals. But there's no such thing as like these rules where you have to do things one way. There's many different ways that work. So you got to find out what works for you and what works for your animals, and if that works, share it with people, tell people. But you don't go and say, you have to do it like this, you have to do it like that, because it's too close-minded. Then you don't go anywhere, then you don't get any better. And I think that when we experiment and try different things, that's how we all get better as snake keepers, as a community, by being open-minded and sharing with each other. Okay, we're back here with my big mama. This is Queen. Queen is my largest Super Dwarf Reticulated Python, and she is a pure. She is from 2007. So the first Super Dwarfs were imported into Canada by Dan Uramovic or something like that, Big D Exotics. So he brought them into Canada, and then after working with them a while, he ended up selling them to Henry Pyron. Henry Pyron or whatever then bred them, and Queen ended up being one of the results of a breeding from those first pures that were brought in. Now, they were taken from the Kalatoa region, so she might be Kalatoa. I can't label her as anything because the parents were taken from the Kalatoa region, and she was from that first generation of breeding. A guy that went by Second Skin bought her, and she looked totally normal. And then after about 2 years, she had this crazy shed, and she went calico. She's got like white scales. These are not burns. They are perfect white scales. And so this guy was going to work with her, and called it the Anomaly Project. And he bred her a few times. Lots of those babies. Who knows what happened to them? This guy, Chris Levesque, Strictly Scales, has 2 of her children, and she bred them. Yeah, we got Queen now. And they're the smallest Super Dwarf babies I've ever seen. And since then, I don't know if she'd been bred, because Second Skin ended up getting sick. So Second Skin ended up selling her to Chris Dyer of Niagara Exotics, and he had her for a long time, and then he was just downsizing, and I was looking for a pure Super Dwarf. He thought that she was like around 80% or something, but I did all the research and found out that she was pure. So she is 12 feet long. She fluctuates between 30 and 35 pounds.
Me make a poo.
Yes, you made a poo. I'm gonna clean your poo. Okay? Let me just finish this. Okay? So she is the only Super Dwarf calico that I know of. So that's pretty cool. And if you look at her, she has really light eyes. And I'm willing to bet that she is anery or het anery, but we'll have to prove it out. So Nintendo will do that for us, hopefully, and I will bring him out next. Just another good look at her. I have more pictures and details in my update from last year, so you could check that out. But if you just look at Queen and you see her eyes, she has light eyes, she's super bright, and she is a sweetheart. At this size, I wouldn't have kept her if she wasn't a sweetheart, because at this size she could really hurt my daughter. But she's always locked up and only out when I am around. So we are very careful. But she really is, she's really sweet. There is no aggressiveness or defensiveness in her at all. She's also older now, so she's like 12, 13 years old. Okay, I'm back here with the one and only Nintendo. Nintendo is a 50% Super Dwarf. He is a 2017, so he's from the same year as Jasmine. And he is a Ultra Het Anery. Avery's playing the xylophone, so you might be hearing that, or wind, or outside stuff. Testing out this with just the audio and video from my cell phone, so hopefully it's good. It's just a different style. We're outside, the weather's nice, so hopefully we can do some more videos outside. But for a 50%, like, I'm actually surprised because he is smaller than Jasmine. Mind you, I fed Jasmine heavier because I've wanted to get her to breed, but he is a very Avery. So basically the nice thing with the two males that I have is Hercules is a 75% and he is a purple albino, so anything he breeds to will be carrying albino. And the nice thing with this guy is he's carrying anery. So I'm going to try and use him to prove out Queen, to see if Queen's actually anery. And every baby he puts out is going to be a platinum. So if he ends up breeding to Jasmine, I'll get a whole pile more ultras, and ultras are probably my favorite morph of retic. And if he ends up impregnating basically anything, he's passing on the platinum gene and a 50% chance at the anery. Eventually I'm going to have a visual anery ultra male that I'll be able to work towards making snows and stuff. My big debate is, do I breed him to Calypso and make more ultra aneries, or do I breed Hercules to Calypso and work my way at making snows a bit faster? I don't know. But I'm actually very impressed by the size of these snakes, because for 50%, they're very manageable, very reasonable. They're not getting as big as I thought they would. And he is actually, yeah, he's smaller than Jasmine, who's a 68%. But he is also a boy. And that's Nintendo, and he has a little bit of a bump on his face from rubbing his head. He kind of goes to town when it's shed time. It's funny how each one has kind of different things that get them going. For him, just whenever he sheds, he goes crazy trying to like get it all off. You also really got to be on top with these guys. The moment that they poop or pee, you got to clean it. I feel like boas and balls, sometimes they make a pee or poo and they're just like whatever. With these guys, the moment they take a crap, they want to get away from it. So I think that's another reason sometimes they'll rub. Lots of the time they need a bigger hide, or they need a smaller hide, or they need more hides, or they need it to be cooler, or they need it to be warmer, or they need it to be more humid. But if anything is a little off, they are finicky. Nintendo isn't really ever aggressive or defensive. He's a little scaredy cat though. He's getting better, but every time I used to take him out, he used to like spray pee and poo on the walls to try and get away from me. But he's calmed down a lot. It's really nice. And that is Nintendo. There we go. And now, last but not least, the one and only Calypso. You gonna show everyone you're dancing, Avery? Come over here, show everyone you're dancing. Come right over here. You dance for the camera. Look at the camera. No? Okay, no dance. So, Calypso is a 2017 50% Super Dwarf Ultra Anery. She is probably my favorite looking one. I love the way that the Anery and the Ultra look together. This down a bit. She's a beautiful looking snake. She is a feisty little one. Not all the time, but sometimes. She's on a mission. Trying to show her to you. And she's not that much bigger than Jasmine either. She is a year younger. Is she a year younger? I don't know. She might. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I am the worst with numbers and things. For like when I made this, when I just each snake I'm pulling out, I'm pulling up a chart with their birthday and everything because I don't remember. I don't really usually weigh my animals. I don't keep track of their poos. I just make sure that they're eating properly, living properly, and everything is going well. I take them out and play with them. But when it comes to just like all the record keeping, I am not that great at that. I record keep when they're all fed, so I know that everything's being fed properly and everything is going well. But other than that, I don't keep track of poops. I don't keep track of weights. I don't keep track of sheds. I don't keep track of birthdays. Usually what I'll do is when a snake is born, I take a picture of the litter, and when anybody asks when it's born, I look at the picture of the litter, and that's how I know when they were born. So that's a simple way of keeping track of births. And there would be a bloody moving truck. So let's say that again. When snakes are born in this household, I take a picture of the babies, and then when anybody asks when the snakes are born, I look at the picture on my Instagram of the babies, and I know when they're born. That moving truck is so annoying. I am sorry. I'm truly sorry. And Calypso is being Calypso. She's not going to sit still for you or be a good girl, because she's a troublemaker. And that's part of why we love her so much. She is the infamous Calypso, the biter of faces. Or she'll just bite you in your back. But so far no damage, so we're good, and I don't let her go near my face anymore, so. The other thing with Ultras is they have those black eyes, so you can't see what they're looking at. So that's a funny thing too, because lots of the time with your snakes, you see where they're looking, you know what's going on. With them, it's just like, you can't tell what they're looking at, so. Woo! Escape! So this is my 2020 Super Dwarf Retic update, size update. I had like 5 boa litters and 2 on the way, and my retics do not want to breed. Mind you, I'm not pushing them with size and stuff, so that might be another reason. So they might need another year or 2, hopefully 1, to mature more. I didn't really expect Calypso to breed because she's too young anyways. She's 2 years old. So is she 17, 18, 19? She's like 3 years old now, I guess. But going into next year, who knows, maybe all my Super Dwarf Retics will breed. I'm gonna have a smaller season for boas. This year I just kind of went to town and said, let's see how many snakes I can breed and if I'm gonna be able to move them. And it's been good, but it's a lot of work. I'm actually gonna slow down production, breed less. I think it's always better to breed less quantity and more quality. So focus on having something really beautiful that other people don't have. Work with that. Don't be greedy. If you're too greedy and you produce too much, it's too much to care for, and then the animals end up suffering. So that's not what we want here. We want to have all the animals in perfect condition and give you animals that are amazing. That's always the goal. Quality over quantity. And Calypso's like, yes, I like the sound of that. Woo. So anyways, hope you enjoyed that. If you have a bulletproof system for breeding super dwarfs or seen one, share it with me, let me know. I think there's lots of bits and pieces, but formulas are hard to find. It's hard to find like a formula that really works. And I feel like I kind of got there with boas, but when it comes to super dwarfs, I'm still learning. And you know, with everything I'm still learning, and with everything I think everyone should still be learning. The moment you know it all, you're not going to learn anything else, so you're not going to get any better. So keep on learning, keep on having fun, keep staying safe, and I will see you next week. See you later. Bye. Yeah, that was wonderful, wasn't it? Now make sure you
Circle.
yeah, click the circle.
Yeah, I did.
And then watch this video or this one.
No.
Yeah?
No.
Yes. It's not that hard. Which one appeals to you more? Is it this one or is it this one?